Title: The Turning Point. For years, Mia Harper's life had been a carefully choreographed routine. At 34, she had the job she dreamed of, a senior project manager at an advertising agency in the heart of Mumbai. Her days were packed with back-to-back meetings, tight deadlines, and the constant hum of creativity. Yet every evening, as she rode the crowded train back to her small apartment, she felt an emptiness gnawing at her. One rainy evening, as she sat by the window, listening to the rhythmic patter of rain on glass, she opened a letter that had been sitting on her kitchen counter for weeks. It was from her childhood best friend, Tara, who now lived in a small village in the Himalayas. Tara had left the bustling city life years ago to open a community library. The letter was filled with stories of children discovering the joy of reading, the peace of mountain life, and a simple invitation: come visit Mia. It's been too long. Mia laughed at the idea. Leave everything and go to a village, she muttered. But something about the letter stayed with her. That night, she dreamed of snow-capped peaks and the smell of old books. When she woke up, she felt restless. Was this her subconscious nudging her toward something? Or just exhaustion? The next day at work, her boss, Mr. Kapoor, handed her a high-profile campaign for a luxury car brand. "This could be your golden ticket to a promotion," he said with a grin. It was an opportunity she couldn't ignore, yet the thought of another year consumed by work felt suffocating. Over the next few weeks, Mia found herself questioning everything. She started journaling, something she hadn't done in years. In her entries, she wrote about her late mother, who had always said, "Life isn't just about surviving. It's about feeling alive." She wrote about the choices she had made, her fear of failure, and the life she truly wanted. Then came the twist. One evening, while preparing slides for her big presentation, Mia's phone buzzed. It was a call from her father, who she hadn't spoken to in months. "I need you to come home," he said, his voice heavy. "There's been a medical emergency." Her father lived in their ancestral home in Kolkata. The last time Mia had visited was for her mother's funeral 5 years ago. Work had always been her excuse to stay away. She booked the next flight and arrived to find her father recovering from a minor heart attack. As she cared for him, old memories resurfaced, their Sunday morning walks, her mother's laughter echoing in the kitchen, and her father's quiet wisdom. One evening, as they sat on the porch sipping tea, her father said, "Mia, you've done well for yourself. But are you happy?" The question hit her like a punch. I don't know," she admitted. For the first time, she voiced her doubts about her career, her life in the city, and the emptiness she felt. Her father listened quietly, then said, "It's okay not to have all the answers. But don't ignore the questions." Back in Mumbai, Mia struggled to focus. The presentation was a success, and Mr. Kapoor praised her work, but the joy was fleeting. She realized she was at a crossroads. On one path was a secure, predictable life she'd built. On the other was an unknown future. Mia decided to take a sabbatical, a word that had always felt like a luxury she couldn't afford. She packed a bag and headed to Tara's village. The first few days were uncomfortable. She wasn't used to the silence, the lack of Wi-Fi, or the physical labor. But as the days turned into weeks, something shifted. She found joy in helping Tara with the library, hiking through the mountains, and sharing meals with villagers who welcomed her like family. One afternoon, while reading to a group of children, Mia realized she hadn't thought about deadlines or campaigns in weeks. She felt lighter, freer. It wasn't that her life in the city was meaningless, but she had been so focused on climbing the ladder that she'd forgotten to look around. When her sabbatical ended, Mia returned to Mumbai with a new perspective. She didn't quit her job, but she made changes. She set boundaries, started mentoring younger colleagues, and volunteered at a local literacy program on weekends. She also reconnected with her father, calling him regularly and visiting whenever she could. Mia's journey wasn't about abandoning her old life but redefining it. She learned that happiness wasn't a destination, but a series of choices made along the way. And as she sat on her balcony one evening, watching the city lights twinkle, she felt something she hadn't felt in years: peace.